All righty. I don't see anybody yet, but as soon as they talk, hello there.
Hi, Patrick. Eric Roberts
Ah,
here. Good to meet you. Almost meet you. I love your glasses.
thank you. Well, you know how it is when you grow older. I went by Cary Grant, Spencer Tracy, Gregory Peck, and all of them. You get these things that frame your eyes so you don't look so blank. They really knew what they were doing.
Well, I obviously didn't because I have something to make me look blank. So I have to catch up.
The famous Eric Roberts humor. I just saw an interview. I wasn't familiar with him. I think it was Jim and Sam radio show. And that young Don Rickles looking guy was a tremendous interviewer. I learned more about you in that one interview than in all of the times that I've studied things. That was fascinating. I'd like to take part of that if I may. Oh, also got to see why you care about your wife so much. She's she's smart. Um, you said in that interview that you care about all of these parts for so many different films, no matter what their size, because you picture how much it meant to the people who created them. Now, Lumina had a hard history. So could you apply that thought to doing this part?
Well, this whole group was so lovely and so into it for all the right reasons
Mm.
that if you got involved with them, you were in for a ride. And if you didn't get involved with them, they were going to leave you behind. So it was really a great experience for me as a not non-believer, but as a not believer. I got into this with okay, so and then through this process, I became a total believer. Of course, there are other beings, other life forms, other places that have us, but in variables. Of course, there are, and uh, and so this movie was just fun to explore that.
You also said in that interview, it was interesting, is that you have to, as you accept other people's different ways of approaching acting. If you're working with a method actor or what have you, you need to respect their ways. To what extent did you mesh with the acting styles here?
I don't really remember because it was all so easy. It was not like a thought process. It was just an event that happened. And as far as messing with the acting styles, I'm rather schizophrenic with my acting. I become their style. Whatever they need, I kind of become.
Huh.
So I don't make people, bend for me. I bend for them, especially if I'm a visiting actor, like if they have a production going on and I'm just plugged into it, as opposed to help get it off the ground kind of a thing. And what was the question?
Well, let me take that and go here. Like Michael Caine or a number of other my favorite people who loved work, just was willing to work over and over again, especially during his younger days. You have been one of the most prolific actors in the history of the business. Um, does the constant change uh, uh, intrigue you that much?
When I put it this oversimplified, it sounds too oversimplified, but I have the best job on the planet, and I know
Mm.
that. And knowing that, I do everything from student films to Dark Knight because it's the part and the people involved, and in that order. And if it's a fun part, I'm interested. If it's great people, I'm really interested. And so it's just those two ingredients. And of course, it's always nice that they wear nice clothes and I get to keep the clothes, but that's another issue. So it's just I have such a great job and I enjoy doing it so well. And I've got these incredible little guys who read for me and then write me synopsises so I can stay on top of everything. And I do, and I read primarily everything to some degree, and so and I just I have a great job. Why would I neglect it?
Exactly. You know, I sort of feel the same way. People ask you, are you thinking about retiring? Why would you retire from something you love doing to do something that you don't know if you would love if you were retired?
I'm with you, pal. I'm totally with you.
Let's talk about the character, if you will. How would you describe him as a person? Is he sincere?
Oh, he's very sincere. He's very intelligent. He was always in the top, 1 or 2% of his class, always in school. Uh, he's not a genius, but he's very bright, and he knows where all the financial bodies are buried, as it were,
Mm.
and that have to do with alien exploration. And he knows it is a real thing. It's been going on forever. And yes, we have proof. Yes, there is proof. It's not, not a
You're going to
joke.
double down on this believing, aren't you? You're
Well, it isn't about believing or not believing. It's about being shown that we have been visited and we're going to be visited again, sure. And all the sightings are not just mistakes that happen in the variables of the same mistake. They're sightings, and we have tens of thousands of photos of craft, tens of thousands of photos of craft, and everybody acts like we don't. We do. It's happened.
okay. Let me ask you this. One of your favorite actors was Sterling Hayden,
Oh
and I
yeah.
understand that he talked you in early on to doing some improvisation. Uh, did that give you a lifelong love of improvising when you can?
No, it gave me a lifelong fear of it. Uh, it's an overused and abused word, but he was a bit of a genius. And so he could take whatever you gave him and run with it. And I was a rookie. I mean,
Yeah.
it was my first movie, and he was my first, fictional grandfather. And it was frightening. And also he was stoned. He had smoked a bowl of hash before he did the scene with me, because I'd been in his trailer, and he offered me some. I declined. But it was kind of frightening. But he was so good, and he was so realistic, and he was so unbothered with acting that I saw the window into his total realism and just followed him through it. And he was a cool guy. He was very giving, very sharing as an older actor to me, and he was very kind to me. He's very gentle with me.
You've reminded me that Gene Hackman said a long time ago to me in an interview, I'm sure to many other people, that the thing that he had learned as he grew older as an actor was to do less. Does that resonate with you?
Of course it does. Yeah. Now, yeah, and also when we play people who don't do less, you have to be very careful, because you'll look like you're overacting. So when you're playing people who aren't simple in their movement, you have to be very careful, and you have to make it really fun to watch, or else it's just going to be insane mania. Have to be careful.
Well, I'm not going to get into it because we're here to talk about Lumina, but I will just say that you're a family and your lovely daughter, I'm sure you won't mind my mentioning her, has contributed a great deal to those of us who love films.
I don't mind you mentioning any member of my family. I'm
And
so
Julie, of
proud of
course.
everybody, and always have been and always will be. And of course, Emma does get the more of my attention than anybody else, of course.
Well, of course, I do understand that. I have two daughters. Eric, thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Oh, of course. Thank you. Have a great day.